Hello everyone, Care Bear here to share with you these cute little socks. This is the Hop, Skip, and a Jump sock by Ainur from Purl Soho, and I had this yarn left over. The fancy color yarn was from Norway. This other mustard color yarn was yarn that I had from Copenhagen. This yarn was from Oslo, and I decided to use it up and make myself these cute little socks. I've made this pattern before, and I just thought, oh, I really liked the little bobble and the way they did the cuff, and so I thought I'm going to do another pair like this. So let me tell you a little bit about these Hop, Skip, and a Jump socks. They call for fingering weight yarn, and they call for a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter, a US 2.5, which is a 3 millimeter, and you're using the larger needles up here in the cuff because you're doing a knit 2 purl 2 mixing the contrast yarn and the main color yarn. I can tell you I think there are 6 sizes with this pattern, and I did the adult small, and it took 33 grams of this multicolored yarn and 4 grams of the contrast yarn that is used only in the cuff of these socks. So let me tell you a little bit about the construction. Well, first I'll tell you a little bit about the yarn that I use. This is Lang a yarn, the Millicolori socks, the Lace Luxe, and it is wool and polyamide, and also 2%, which is a different fiber, because you look really carefully, I'll hold it up to the light, right to the camera there, you can see a little bit of sparkle because there is a bit of silver in this sock yarn. So, which kind of is cute. It gives that little extra zip to the socks. So I used 33 grams of this multicolored yarn and then 4 grams of that contrast yarn. I did use the needles that they called for, so the 3.25 millimeter, and then I used a 3 millimeter on the actual sock itself. The construction is a cuff down. So you start with the cuff, you're starting with the contrast colored yarn, and then you work into knit 2 purl 2 ribbing, and eventually you get down to the point where you're putting in those little baubles, which I think is kind of cute. I like those. And then you move into, right away it moves from right after the cuff, it moves right into doing the heel flap, the heel, and the gusset, which you can see there. And there's the actual heel that I can show you. And then you go into working on the foot and making it to the length that will serve you. You get to the point where you're then reducing for the toe and reducing at both sides, and then eventually finishing with a Kitchener stitch to close or seal off that toe. I will tell you, at some point up here when you're reducing for the toe, they do stop reducing every other row and they start to reduce every row, and I didn't do that, and I would recommend that you follow the pattern for that because mine got a little bit too pointy. I should have done what they did. And anyway, yeah, so that would be my only recommendation, that you might want to follow exactly the way they reduced for that toe. So that is the Hop, Skip, and a Jump sock pattern. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. I believe it linked me to download it from the Purl Soho site. The sample ones that they did have a contrast color and a main color, and the main color is solid, which probably would be maybe have that contrast and mane stand out a little bit more, but I was using up the yarn, and I'm really happy with the mustard with this multicolor. I really like it. So would I do this again? Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's a cute little sock. I might make the leg part a little bit longer. It is a top-down construction, so I mean, either way, you could still extend the leg part. So I would think about doing that. But yeah, I really like these. They're really cute, and they're a nice way to good reminder of my trip from both Oslo and Copenhagen. So those are the Hop, Skip, and a Jump socks, a free pattern on Ravelry. Check it out. Thanks for watching.